Hello, and welcome to the Gaia update for the Scorpio Lunar Eclipse that's happening on May 5th, 2023. Well, this is the second of two eclipses in this eclipse cycle. The first eclipse happened on the 19th of April at 29 degrees Aries, 29 degrees 50 minutes, the very end of the sign. This whole season and the last few years, and we're just having all of these messages in astrology around endings and beginnings and cycles overlapping, and this theme continues as we have this eclipse season. The energy of the eclipse season of the eclipses lasts for about 6 months. So when we're looking at this next period of time, as we examine and explore the meaning, the energies of the astrology around these eclipses, tells us about what the next 6 months is going to be about. So let's check it out. This Scorpio full moon eclipse happens at 14 degrees, 58 minutes. So basically, 15 degrees. Now that's at 15 degrees Scorpio, and across the way is would be the sun at 15 degrees Taurus. Now that 15-degree Taurus mark is right where Mercury took his retrograde. So this is telling us that the Mercury retrograde season and the eclipse season are very connected. It can tell us about what's really going on here. So the sun is at the point that Mercury was when he turned retrograde at 15 degrees. Now, the sun on the 4th, leading up and still very close on the 5th for this eclipse, the sun is in square to Black Moon Lilith and Leo. So it's very powerful because we've got this stellium of energies and planets in Taurus. We'll have 5 elements: the North Node, Mercury retrograde, the sun and the moon, and Uranus, all in Taurus for this lunar eclipse. So now it's really interesting because, okay, there's 5 elements, and yet none of them are really in conjunction. They're all spread out. And so we're kind of covering our bases. And also there's an energy with Taurus being a fixed earth sign, taking our places, grounding out, landing home. And what is required for SuperNova Souls to land home is for us to fully receive the gifts, our spiritual gifts that we've developed and have been offered as a fractal particle of God, source, consciousness. It's time for us to uncover and share these gifts with the world. They are becoming a huge burden. This is an energy of the Taurus. It's like, what is this about? Because Uranus has been in Taurus, the North Node's been in Taurus for the last couple of years. And so it's we're having a huge bloom of this energy. And Taurus represents our wealth and our worth, our value system. So what really matters to us, ruled by Venus, but also the energy of having what we need, being comfortable in this world, being cared for in our body, in our life, feeling that we deserve to exist in, not just exist. That's kind of Aries energy, but this is about flourishing and blooming and embodying. And so we're looking at what is keeping us from owning our wealth. And for SuperNova Souls, it's like this burden we've been carrying that we didn't know even that it was the burden because we were like kind of used to it. And I think what's happening for SuperNova Souls over the last few years, and especially with this Aries bloom that we've had, is this energy of, wait a minute, I've been living for everyone else. I've been doing all these outside agendas, and it's time for me to own and contain my energy. And then but as we own back our power from where we've been giving it away, this burden comes up that we've had, but we didn't understand really what it was. And so this heaviness, this burden is like, it kind of feels karmic, like being trapped under the rubble of destructive catastrophe that you somehow felt responsible for. It's like way too much for one person to carry, And yet we all have been programmed to carry this. Like all supernova souls feel like they single-handedly caused the destruction of Atlantis or the fall, the catastrophes that happened in that time. And actually it was a setup. And so much of this time is about us unburdening ourselves. But we're recognizing that the deeper part of this burden is actually the gifts that we've accumulated, our spiritual gifts. And it's like, this is the bounty, the energy of Taurus, the awakening of higher frequency vibrations and the embodiment of higher frequency vibrations, feeling worthy of who we are in our higher frequency vibration and owning that wealth. So the sun in Taurus at 15 degrees right in the middle, of course, opposite the moon. And then that means that it's a T-square. So the moon moves real quick. But when the moon comes in, this is the full eclipse peaks out at 11:22 Mountain Time on Friday, the 5th a.m. And so that's when the moon will come and join the sun. Come opposite of the sun and then make this square with Black Moon Lilith. And so when the moon comes into that, it's going to be really, really powerful. And so we're going to be feeling that over these next 48 hours as we move into and through this eclipse. So the other thing we're feeling, so let's just talk about this real quick, this T-square. Sun in Taurus, Moon in Scorpio, speaking to the nodes. This is the last couple of months of the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. So that's this huge bloom of Taurus. Like, are you getting the message? Are you ready to unburden yourself and share what you have and know that you're worthy? It's like this really powerful excavation of our inner treasures. And Scorpio, the moon in Scorpio with an eclipse, shining the light and revealing whatever is hidden in the darkness, the deep subconscious, like program shame or fear programming that's keeping us from owning our wealth, our spiritual wealth, and expressing it in the world. Of course, when we expressed it before and shared our gifts, we were often persecuted or exiled or tortured or killed. And so we are hesitant. But now it's becoming this burden that must be relieved. This, like, how can you live in these blessings and not offer them back? And it's a deep shame that's coming up in all of humanity, and very manipulated. This shame, this sensitivity to the earth, to our resources, through the narrative of global warming and the guilt and energy. It's kind of like we've been programmed to feel guilty about what we use. But Mother Earth offers freely, you know? She just only wants us to be with her. And that's in gratitude, So our consumerism lifestyle and the emptiness and all about the physical and what it looks outside and the Facebook. It's like there is a fundamental crisis on the psyche of humanity right now around receiving the bounty of this life and not being in connection to be able to share the gratitude. Everybody's just all about me. I got to keep what I have. I got to take what I need. I got to, it's like we're in just this massive bloom of scarcity consciousness. And yet coming to the understanding, SuperNova Souls, coming to the understanding of the massive and powerful wealth that you have within. That is just like, stack up all the money you want, but that healing, that love, compassion, that you cannot put a price on now. So that's very powerful. And it makes me think of Mars and Cancer fighting for this nurturing, our warrior, but he's been in square with Chiron. Now this is just coming off at the eclipse. So we're just kind of feeling the tail end of it, but a lot of frustration coming up again around where we've been held back, where everything's worked against us, where How long have we been living in this imbalance of supernova souls, like the way you give and you offer and you love and your generosity of heart and soul and spirit, and then it's just stolen. This is what's been happening on humanity. Our compassion, humanity's compassion, has been stolen. We are constantly manipulated and stolen from in this current systems. That's why they have to fall apart. And that's what we're witnessing right now in the world. And it's creating a lot of unease. This is where supernova souls come in, because you've been through it and you're so powerful and you have what it takes to be calm and grounded presence, connected to source, knowing that we're not really the ones in charge. And we want to align with the divine forces in energetically, not go willy-nilly. Then our energy can be used for whatever agendas around us. We have to be resolute. And maybe that is the message of this Scorpio eclipse, in the middle, right in the middle of Scorpio. We cannot waver. We have to be in that way, the Christ middle path. And be devoted to that 24/7. Like, it's kind of this time of, oh, we've had these times of like, it's a time to go to your hut or to your sacred space and take, really do some praying and meditating and stuff. And it's kind of like, at this point, it's like, you got to take that sacred space, that Gaia cave, that beautiful temple with you wherever you go. And 24/7, be in this place of profound gratitude for what is. This is how we navigate these times. And this is what this Taurus energy is showing us. Now, the Scorpio South Node is intense, because we've got that shining, reflecting the darkness shining the light through the darkness of what's been hidden. But Scorpio is also, the Scorpio energy is, first of all, very emotional, very intense. Scorpio wants to feel, and Scorpio wants to connect. And it's not the surface connection of the Libra relationship dynamics. This is a deep soul connection, this yearning connection to spirit, to source, but to other humans who are in that energy. And so it's like with Mars square Chiron, it's bringing up these deep isolation and loneliness, because Chiron in Aries is about going your own way and claiming your freedom and your autonomy. But that's been a very long, lonely road for supernova souls. And we have to kind of face, like, this grief is coming up so strong, because we also have Venus in square to Neptune. And so Neptune in Pisces, but Saturn in Pisces is in trine still to the South Node. We've been feeling this for the last month. And it's still lingering. They're just 1 degree apart. And so we've got a huge bloom of water, huge bloom of emotions, huge bloom of intensity. But it's kind of like, be like the water. Let the water wash over you. Let this grief move and grow. It's like, because we had Mercury square Chiron, Mercury square Black Moon Lilith, and then now the sun is in square to Black Moon Lilith, and the moon T square, Mars square Chiron, Venus, everybody in squared, everybody all squared up. So it's been like gridlock, tension, energy leading up to this eclipse. And then there's going to be a release. So prepare for this. And it might be the tears. It might be the letting go of these burdens, recognizing that now you're going to live your place from this place. The burden does not fit who you are. And the burden is only because of the precious gifts that are ready to be unlocked inside of us. And what a beautiful, glorious, the highest thing, a lot of like our aspirations is like regular human aspirations. Like, oh, I want to accomplish this thing. I want to create this thing. I want to do this thing. So your supernova souls is like, the ultimate thing you want is just to be able to share what you have inside and help. And that's your dream. And your dream has been stolen from you again and again. And yet it lives on and gets stronger. So this is what's going on here, because there is this kind of Saturn in trine to Neptune and to the south node, Saturn in Pisces in trine to the south node. In Scorpio, a huge bloom of water. And moving, an opportunity to move and shift. Powerful grief, but also dream that new dream, right? Because Saturn in Pisces is the structures of our world. Saturn is like the structures and laws and rules of our world. Pisces, no laws and rules. It's just it's just the consciousness, the primordial waters. And those are the rules we need to live by. Just like, well, what does that mean? Formless? Yeah, you're formless. Your body as actually, your real body is invisible. And this is just a representation. And this is what we're recognizing with this activation of Uranus and Taurus, because the sun, after this comes out of that black, actually it will still be in the square with Black Moon Lilith, but then the sun comes up to Uranus on the 9th, and we start to feel this right after this eclipse. So it's like the eclipse, that dam breaking, the water's moving, the tears flowing, the healing coming. And then right away, the sun coming into Uranus is like very high vibrational activation of our true spiritual self. And so that's very powerful, and it's a precursor to June when the retrogrades resolve, the eclipse season resolves, and Mercury will come out of retrograde June 6th, and then on June 5th come into conjunction with Uranus, finally catching up. So that's our resolution. But this is a kind of a flash of energy, a precursor, premonition type energy, this vibrational activation of our true self. Literally, I mean, it just feels like massive high frequency vibrations flooding into our world. And can we receive the blessings? You know, it's really about that, because when we come back into our connection with Mother Earth, you know, when we break our authority contracts and we say, I am sovereign by birthright as a human soul and a body, automatically we come back into, when we break those authority contracts, we come back into the abundance and connection of being cared for. And so this is a lot of what we're doing here. And we come back to the earth, we come back to the mother, and we realize, oh my gosh, she's been with us all along, and her blessings have been right here. We never hurt her. She can't be hurt. And she's just a fountain of never ending creation energy, manifest and form for us to love. And then we say, oh my goodness, she's been here the whole time while I transgressed into all of these dark places of separation. And so it's really about learning to receive the blessings. And I know we've all had that experience when you try to offer a blessing or a healing or some, you know, and a gift, and the people feeling unworthy of it and refusing it. This has been, or just refusing it because they're scared of you. You know, this has been a huge thing with SuperNova Souls, but just feeling unreceived. And yet, what if it's really about us receiving our gifts and receiving that love back of the mother and soaking it up and living and breathing from that place? So this is what this eclipse is speaking to. And Venus square Neptune is bringing up so much emotions and grief from the past. And it's like Venus is so distraught and overwhelmed, and because she's in Gemini and she can't figure out what she wants. And she's lost her voice and she's trying to claim it back. But it's like the delusions and the programming of the Piscean age and the pain of the past, and she just can't get out from under it. But that square will resolve after the weekend. So it's a really important part of moving the grief and releasing the old stories so we can make room for the new stories. Because we've had square, 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 square. And then with this eclipse, it comes off. They begin to come off and move into that activation stage. So very powerful energies. And we've also got two sweet little semi-sextiles, Jupiter in Aries, one sign away from Neptune in Pisces. We've got Chiron in Aries, one sign away from Uranus at 18 degrees. So we 17, 18. And so this lining up, this is like the one sign over, and it's at 26, 27 and 17, 18 degrees. And so there is this energy, especially over the end of the zodiac, Neptune, Jupiter, Pisces and Aries, and then Aries and Taurus. So it's all about allowing ourselves to be reborn and also embody the wealth of who we really are in this deep mysteries of Uranus in Taurus being revealed as the sun comes up to Uranus on the 9th and Mercury comes up to Uranus after the retrograde on June 5th. So do you deserve and can you receive with honor and gratitude and full, just, partly receiving doesn't work either. It's like when we're really receiving the earth's bounty and blessings, that's when she's happiest, and because we're in gratitude. And so we have been looking for her permission kind of to receive her blessings and receive our own blessings, this incredibly intuitive inner gifts and strength of soul and power of love and compassion of the SuperNova soul. But perhaps it's just about us learning to be worthy again and to receive so that we can be received and she can receive from us, and we can get back into this co-creative communion with the vital forces of the universe and move into a world based on those truths, that wealth, the only wealth we really have. And you are abundant in it, SuperNova soul, and it's been your only problem. So now, resolution, reckoning, and this is a very, very powerful lunar Scorpio lunar eclipse. So I hope you'll consider joining the lunar eclipse soul group session. This is a group intuitive session where we look at shared past life pictures, deep, profound work, gives us pictures and information for SuperNova souls, clarity, healing, contract clearing, soul retrieval opportunities, connecting with your soul group, and timeline alignment. So very powerful work. It's $20, and that's Friday, May 5th and 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Also, I'll be offering a sharing circle, a free sharing circle after this eclipse. So you can get a sense of what it's like to be in the gold membership, where there's a sharing circle available after the activations included in the membership. The new and full moon activation. So the full moon activation is going to be Thursday, May 4th at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And that's $10. And that's a guided meditation to get into the energy and make the most and receive healing and insight and get into alignment with the astrological energies. So powerful work ahead of us this next couple of days. Now, if you can't make these events live or you're getting this video way later, know that the replay is always available at the very same link as sign up. So you can just go catch the replay when it works for you. We're working outside of time. And so it's like we're encapsulating and capturing the energy finally to make it work for us and being completely present in what we can receive in these astrological messages. So thank you so much for being with me, SuperNova Soul, and for everything that you've done to be here on the planet right here, right now. I feel you, I love you, and I look forward to connecting with you at these events or on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.